Three, two, one. All right. So this is wild. Like, this is insane to me. So the Dallas Mavericks recently let go of Donnie Nelson, a guy who's been in their front office for a long time. And, you kind of like, oh, wow. Okay, Mavericks get rid of their GM. Okay. All right. They haven't really done anything since they won their title against the Heat in 2011. Okay, makes sense. Well, then you hear rumblings about Luka being unhappy, all these different things. Next, a couple days later comes over, Rick Carlisle is no longer the coach and will no longer coach the Dallas Mavericks. So, super weird. And you kind of look at it at face value and you're kind of like, wow, all right, well, they got rid of their GM and their coach. That's a little dysfunctional. Obviously, something's going on. There's the shadow of Mark Cuban over the Mavericks as far as him maybe being a little too power hungry. I don't know. I think, here's my quick opinion on Mark Cuban. Very smart businessman. I think he's definitely very aware of what society is today as far as the new social media and tech age of what today is and everything. But I don't know if he's basketball savvy, and he wins one championship in 2011. He carries it everywhere. I mean, is his profile picture on Twitter, is it still him holding the trophy from literally like 10 years ago? And again, you haven't done anything. Look, don't we all know this? Don't we all know that like the key point of greatness, the whole like epitome of greatness is being able to be great and have it be sustainable afterwards? That hasn't happened in Dallas. After all the years of them trying to get Darren Williams and trying to get all these guys together, even Hassan Whiteside, like they just never were in the running for any top tier level talents in the NBA, LeBron or D Wade in 2010. Fast forward later, it was Kawhi or anybody else. Like, are they in? Like, you always feel like Dallas is like, oh, we're here too. Like in the Anthony Davis sweepstakes, oh, we should be there too. Klay Thompson, oh, we should be there too. Paul George, oh, we should be there. But they aren't actually. It's interesting. It really is. Like, it's a city in Texas. Look, here's an interesting thought. Texas is not doing so great as far as their NBA teams go, and nobody wants to be there. Kawhi leaves San Antonio. James Harden leaves Houston. There's obviously some craziness going to Dallas, but nobody wants to go to Dallas. So an interesting situation there with this Mavericks team. Look, let's address this because this is huge. The Haralabob situation. I don't want to say his name because it's super long and I can't pronounce it. I'm going to look dumb. Look, he is at the bedside of Mark Cuban in the sense that Mark Cuban trusts him. You guys see Lord of the Rings? Wormtail? You already know where I'm going with this. We'll talk about it in a minute, but to address Haralabob, he hasn't officially been marked out of this front office or whatever role he had with the team. He hasn't officially been removed, but he really should be the next person to go. And so we will see what happens here with the situation with Haralabob, because apparently he's for those of you who don't know, he is known for being a professional sports bettor. I'm sure that there's some analytics background that goes along with that as well, but he is definitely not the guy and doesn't have the qualifications to be making big basketball decisions. There are stories about how he has been kind of poking scouts or poking the GM or poking Mark Cuban saying, hey, we should draft this guy. We should select this guy. Apparently, he made a phone call to a recent Mavericks draftee. Like, what? Does he even have a title with the Mavericks? I don't know. Somebody fill me in on that. Does he have stake with the Mavericks? Like a position there? I mentioned this earlier, but I mean, we see this same thing happen in the NFL right now. Where? Houston, Texas. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that. Won't dive deep into that, but so Dallas now is faced with a situation where I do believe Cuban's willing to spend money. So can they get a coach? Yeah, I do believe they can. Is it Chauncey Billups? Is it the coach that's already on their staff that, Luka is really close with? We'll see. There's also reports saying that Luka doesn't want to be doesn't really like Haralabob at all. And so there's that. Does that eat away at this team? Or Mark Cuban knowing that like his guy is not well liked by his star player? We will see. Concerning news of them looking at considering Jason Kidd for the head coaching position before they hired a GM. Wow. And if they had done that, the world might have exploded. Wow. That would be insane in the most negative way. Because Jason Kidd, I don't believe should be a head coach again. Especially a head coach that has the expectations of saying, we need to be in the Western Conference Finals. We believe we're good enough. You think Dallas believes they were good enough to beat the Clippers? Absolutely. You think they would have confidence probably having the best player in the series with Luka versus the Jazz? Absolutely. Cuban obviously knows this is a good team. This is a really great player. We should be there. Whatever things we need to do to change up that, we will do. Anybody worried about Luka not signing his extension? I think just doesn't really know the game as far as the CBA works. Now, Luka could come out and say, trade me, but the Mavericks won't be able to get too much in return for him. So, look. He's signing the extension. We know it. He'll play for the Mavericks next season. Don't worry about that. What you need to worry about is, the head coaching and the front office situation and the owner situation and the Haralabob situation. So it's not necessarily court related. Now, the Porzingis situation, yeah, I don't know what they can get for Porzingis, but yeah, I guess he could definitely be something that they trade, and they might need the next domino to fall in the whole Maverick situation. But Haralabob not being liked by Luka and probably having more power within the Mavericks organization than necessary should definitely be something that needs to be addressed. So yeah, I'm not too worried about the Mavericks. I actually, throughout the season, I was thinking that they were a team that wasn't that good on defense. But I actually one thing I like to look at is the effective field goal percentage, because that really tells us a lot of like who the best teams in the NBA, ever since for the last like more than 10 years. I believe that the team that has the best, that they're top 10 in effective field goal percentage on offense and their defensive effective field goal percentage is top 10, they're winning the title. Happened last year, happened the year before that, and so on and so forth. This Mavericks team was not too far from that. So, and again, that comes with some coaching, that comes with some personnel. So can they up that a little bit? Yeah, I think they can. I really think they can. So we'll see what happens. Dallas will be an interesting situation. They want to re-sign Tim Hardaway, but when you sign Tim Hardaway away, that's a lot of money going there. So we'll see what happens. But Dallas, you are now on the watch list for the upcoming summer and we will watch you closely. We will watch your career with great interest. We will see what happens, because little dysfunction going on. Do I think it's enough to get Luka out of there? Probably not. Not yet. But watch the coaching hire. These things matter. These things absolutely matter. We will see what happens in the offseason. Rick Carlisle out. Is Hurrah Labob in? I guess we'll find out. Stay tuned.